And look what's happening. According to Pew Research, a new study finds that the coronavirus outbreak is having a profound impact on personal lives of Americans in a variety of ways. Nearly 9 in 10 U.S. adults say their life has changed at least a little as a result of the COVID-19 outbreak, including 44% who say their life has changed in a major way. Well, in what ways has it changed? What are they doing? Joining me now to talk about this is David Closson. He's FRC's Director of Christian Ethics and Biblical Worldview. David, welcome back to Washington Watch.
Hey, great to be with you, Tony.
David, there's some good news here in what Americans are doing as a result of this virus.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. And this is a really interesting poll that Pew did. And you mentioned that it says, nearly 9 in 10 Americans say that their life's been changed in some way. 44% say it's been changed in a major way. But the virus is also impacting Americans' religious behaviors. And that, to me, that was what was most interesting. It says that more than half of all U.S. adults, 55%, say that they have prayed for an end to the spread of the coronavirus. And to be expected, huge majorities of those who identify as Christians have taken to prayer during the outbreak. But the poll also showed that those who seldom or never pray are actually praying. 15% of the people who say they don't really normally pray, they are also finding time to pray, asking the Lord to turn this pandemic away. So just really interesting to see in a time of crisis, millions of people are turning to God in prayer.
Yeah, it's interesting. About a month and a half ago, 2 months ago, when I guess it was the end of January, when the coronavirus task force was formed and the president tapped the vice president to lead that effort. And you'll recall that one of the first things he did is he got the task force together in his office. The pictures show this, and prayed. And they prayed for guidance, prayed for God's intervention in the plague. And of course, criticized by the media, criticized by Bernie Sanders and other politicians that, they're trying to pray the virus away. But that's where Americans are. A majority of Americans understand. And in times like this, they turn to the one true source of help, and that is the Creator himself.
You're absolutely right. And that was such a shame, and it just really shows how out of touch the mainstream media and some of these liberal, far-left politicians are to mock Mike Pence. And now this poll shows that a majority of Americans are praying. And, I'm encouraged by it, Tony, but I'm also not surprised by it, because what's true on a personal level is also true on a national level. Think about it, in our personal lives, when we go through a crisis, whether it's the death of a loved one, an unexpected diagnosis, sudden loss of a job, whatever it is, that causes a lot of soul searching and introspection, and really causes us to reevaluate what really matters and is most important in life. And I think that's what a lot of Americans are doing right now. They have all this time on their hands that they didn't expect to have as they're practicing social distancing and working from home and quarantining. And they're wrestling. I think they have time now to wrestle with some of these big worldview questions that you and I talk about a lot. Worldview questions such as, who is God? What does it mean to have a relationship with him? What's my purpose in life? What's going to happen to me when I die? And my hope is that, as Christians, they'll use this opportunity to read their Bibles like they have never done before, and that we can just pray that as people have time on their hands, they will consider these big worldview questions and turn to the Lord.
Yeah, hopefully the social distancing that creates this extra time and space will actually cause us to draw closer to God because of the other distractions that are out of our way. But I was talking with Franklin Graham about this earlier, and that the intensity of the disasters that we've seen over the last 2 decades, and we were talking about New York City. In fact, they're setting up a field hospital there. Of course, we go back to 9/11, then we go to Katrina, we go to all these natural disasters. It would seem to me that when you look at the intensity and the effect of these, that God certainly is trying to get our attention. And I know there will be those on the left that mock that and say, that has nothing to do with this. I think it has everything to do with it. And leaders in the past, in the history of this country, at times of great crisis, have encouraged people to look to God and ask him, what are you communicating to us, and what do we need to do?
Yeah, that's absolutely right. And one scripture I'll leave us with is the scripture says the effective prayer of a righteous man accomplishes much. And in Proverbs 15:8 it says that the prayer of the upright is God's delight. So this is a time for God's people to seek him in prayer. And I think that this poll shows that that's what a majority of Americans are doing, and we should encourage that.
Absolutely. And we've got some prayer points, folks, that can help you in that process. You can go to frc.org/prayer, and you can find those prayer points. David Closson, thanks so much for taking time to join us today.
Thanks for having me, Tony.
All right. And folks, do pray. Again, go to frc.org/pray. And for those churches, pastors, if you need some ideas on how you can minister outside the box, go to frc.org/church. And you can get that information, or go to tonyperkins.com and you can follow the links over.